traditional model works really well for people who are already very motivated, know what they need to do and are able to do it. But we're quite aware of the fact that, a large number of people actually really struggle to kind of understand and process and do the sort of things that might sort of improve their sort of health and well-being.
And we've got thousands of people living with long-term conditions, and actually thousands of people living with multiple long-term conditions. The most important thing for the group consultation is it's not group education. This is patients supporting people with the same condition and learning from each other with guidance from the clinicians.
It's just a better consultation to be a part of. So for patients, they get to participate a lot more rather than that standard consultation where the clinician tends to do most of the talking. It's much more tailored to what the patient wants to get out of it. But I know in terms of their motivation when they leave, we see that's far in excess of what it used to be. They come up with their own plans of how they're going to improve their blood pressure or their diabetes, and they definitely seem far more motivated to do that.
We were really committed right from the start that this was going to work. We've been doing it now for over 6 years, and now we do hypertension reviews as well. We do 2 diabetic groups a week, and we're looking at lots of other areas where we can roll this out. The most important thing was we involved the entire surgery, from patient services, the management team, GPs, everyone knew what was going on.
So it really is a whole team effort, from the person on reception that's checking the patient in to anybody in the building that might come face to face with the patient that's got a group consultation is a bit apprehensive. Just being able to reassure them that it is a really good consultation to be a part of.
So we had to do an awful lot of work with patients initially, just advertising what it was about, that it was very much inclusive, around confidentiality. But it's certainly our first appointment choice. So people that are newly diagnosed, their first experience is a group. Once we've got our room running, we're looking at maybe 9 to 10 groups a week. So 1 every morning, 1 every afternoon, for a variety of conditions, and a variety of people can run them. Once you've got the templates and the behaviours and the processes in place, actually you can apply it to many conditions where there's lots of people with the same condition.
Yes, I'm the clinician within the session, so the group consultation will usually start without me. The patients will be introduced to the session, they'll do all of the confidentiality stuff, and then that's when the facilitator will start getting questions from the patients, and then I'll come in. So we'll go through all of the patients' questions, try and get the group to answer them if they can, see if any other questions arise, a bit of a discussion, and then we'll go on to the one-to-ones as well with each patient, just a small little discussion about their own personal medication and plan. It's all about, what their priorities are and what they want to find out. So it's also better they can talk to their peers. Also, it's about always leading with the patient questions. So it can be really easy to fall into habits of leading the consultation yourself. And it's just remembering to take that step back, kind of push the questions back to the patients, get them involved again, because they learn much more, and it's much more involved and much more interesting when the patients are participating wholly.
So the paradox here is that whilst a group consultation may feel like you are turning a care process into an en masse process, actually it's quite an intelligent and effective way of personalising care, because you're creating a lot more time for people to engage. The unique nature is that people actually get a good hour and a half, if not longer, to really think about where they are with their conditions, and to not only discuss that with a group of professionals, but just as importantly to discuss it with a group of peers who can provide a lot of insight, a lot of important advice. That, I think, is the magic of a group consultation. It's very different to presenting people with information. It's not about that. It's actually about creating a very dynamic scenario, a dynamic environment where people can actually interact and learn and go away with something different, and importantly, feel quite energized about what they're doing.
Sometimes for us, we're trying to ease them into a discussion about that change, whereas another patient might be really blunt and say, actually, if you don't do it, this is what's going to happen, and this is how I do it, or this is how I did it. and they can learn from them. It's better than being told what to do, is that suggestion, and actually I've lived that experience, this is what I've done and I've achieved it.
And it's just coming at it from a different angle for them rather than just being talked at. As far as I'm concerned, it's much better that you get to have that discussion and debate rather than just sitting there talking to patient after patient about the same thing, which can be quite repetitive after the 7th appointment in a day.
So there are all sorts of groups of people who benefit from this, and there are tried and tested and established groups running up and down the country who are demonstrating this every day. People testing group consultation models with people with long-term mental health problems, people who are wheelchair bound and all the kind of attendant issues that they face, all sorts of things. I think you've got to really be open-minded about the possibilities, because they're huge.
I mean, really, there's not a long-term condition that you can't do a group consultation in terms of the main benefit that runs through all of them is the time. You can see so many more patients in such a short amount of time, which is great for being able to then spend more time on other things as well in the surgery.
The other clear priority is the sustainability of services and how we maintain them and improve them. And I think inherent to that is people actually enjoying their work. Happiness at work is actually an inherent part of providing high quality and safer care. And if you look at our team who are delivering group consultations, they're really energized by it. And that, I think, is a massive outcome. It's a really important one.
So as clinicians, we're learning about what it's like to live with diabetes or hypertension or whatever that long-term condition is, rather than what we've studied, and that makes a big difference.
By the time they leave, they normally have very, very good feedback. They've enjoyed the session. They're happy to come back to another session. They've got loads more advice and help to try and manage their condition. So they take away a lot more knowledge about what's happening within their body and with their condition, and with a lot of advice from other people as well. So it helps them to put things into place once they're back at home. It's great to hear when patients come back and they say that they're now managing better, all their blood tests are improved, and some of them even into remission, which is fantastic. And that makes us feel very happy about what we're doing is the right thing for them.